All right. Hello, folks. This is Dennis from the Philippines, originally from the Philippines and living now in United States. So where the heck is the Philippines? That's a good question. I can't even locate here using the Google Earth, but the technology is good, so it's amazing. So here, the Philippines, as you can see, it's near the equator. Okay, and the reason for this podcast today is about knowing the facts of the Philippines. Now, as you notice, Philippines here in the Google Earth is surrounded by huge open sea. Okay, and so within an hour, because it's island, we are 7,000 islands. Okay, but it's three regions divided into three regions. We have about 172 languages, not languages, but dialects, which is Tagalog, northern part of the Philippines, Tagalog, which is our national language. It's a combination of Malaysians as well. And here in Visayas region, where I came from, is combined with Hilongo or Ilongo, Cebuano, Waray. So in this region right here, it's a combination of really different dialects. And it's hard because again, it's different. But when you travel to island or city to city, you've noticed the accent, a different accent. Even my English has an accent, but I speak, different dialects from Philippines. Cebuano is my main one. My dad is actually Ilonggo, and my mother is Bisaya or Cebuano. But again, as we go to different islands, you can notice and you have to learn how to speak in different dialects to communicate. My cousins have most likely Ilonggo, so it was a challenge. We use our national dialect, which is Tagalog, in the northern part of the Philippines. When I was in high school, we learned to speak English. Okay, English, and then when I was in the Bible school, also, our teacher has to force us to create a sermon in English. And when I joined YWAM or Youth with the Missions, most people also speak different languages and dialects because it's YWAM is very international. It's the second largest mission agency on earth. And so you meet so many people that speak language and different accent of English. And again, living in the Philippines, we learn how the American accent and we have the British accent as well. Northern part of the Philippines is also part of it has a Hispanic heritage, in part of the Visayan region as well. In fact, I live in La Libertad, which is a Spanish name for liberty, and that's where I live here in Negros. Okay, and so right, my sisters and my in-laws live here in Cebu. This is the tiny islands, and for some of you that don't know about Philippines, we have typhoon, hurricane all over. At least twice a month, mild, rainy. So if you ask me how many seasons in the Philippines, okay, for instance, here in the US, especially in Midwest, we have four seasons. But in the Philippines, we only have two: hot and hotter, or wet or wetter. So because it's going to be rain, it's extremely rainy season, or it's extremely hot, a very hot day. And so That is the story of the Philippines, and the reason why this nation has been very unstable because of the nature of it. Like as you can see, there's different tiny islands. It's a combination of islands, and surrounded is an open sea, which can accumulate typhoon or hurricane within hours. It would smash directly to this specific island. And so that's why that's the Philippines. All right. It reminds me also with the hurricane that is going on today. It was really, really important that we remember that again, 2013, which is 8 years ago, happens the hurricane or typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda smash again in the same region. Visayas region, which is affected by Negros, Cebu, Bohol, Tacloban. So this Tacloban here is and Leyte, part of this island is actually like this is the a lot of dead people. 2013, the 2013 during that typhoon, about 6,300 people died. Okay, and we're missing people 1,062. And for people that has injury, mild or worse injury, it's like 28,688. And so that's where the big hurricane 8 years ago. But again, 8 years ago or 9 years ago. Anyway, it's like 9 years. So, but anyway, so that those are just huge hurricane. Again, this year, 2021, it's also big hurricane. Think about that Negros as well. My dad lost his house. My brother lose his house. Can you imagine like one of the pan or cooking pot went to half a miles in the roof, find somewhere else, and the collected few of the clothings, because it's just like the wind is just crazy, 121 miles per hour, and that's bad. In with our house, again, as I said in my other video, as I mentioned, our house is not built in solid foundation. We have coconut, bamboo, some bamboos, sticks that we put. So it's not really guaranteed that it won't fly. Like again, as you can see in the pictures or images, even the hollow blacks or blacks, houses can be destroyed. How much more this sticks of bamboos and firewood that would fly away. So anyway, that is the nature of the Philippines. But I remember when I was 8 years old, again, growing up in the Philippines with um, unstable disaster all the time, and we have that family. It was just awful. So okay, continue. Now back 2013, I was sidetracked with that. 2013 with the typhoon, I was able to get this video before. So in this video again, it was in northern part of the Philippines. Houses are destroyed, and like kids want to have drink, food that they've been asking in different part. Also, yeah, it was crazy that time that the hurricane typhoon just smashed again in the Philippines. But what I did, what we do also, because our house is not affected by that time with that hurricane. So what we did is able to provide also with some of our church friends. So we are able to provide them with temporary church. Their church was built in the blocks, but as you can see in the images, it was like destroyed. So we provide this tarpaulin, or this one here. We build this to help out. We provide a tent during that hurricane, and the church are very, very thankful about building this church again temporarily. And I have my friend here also. The video is really bad, as you can see. um, it's not a clear picture or image for that. It was like before the technology was being birthed. But anyway, as you can see, in 2021, the video, the typhoon smashed again the Philippines. And this is in the Kingdom Legacy Ministries location here in the kitchen or in the church. And so here's my sister and brother-in-law, and the youth are actually cleaning up the mess around it. And it was just awful to get this situation again. And as you can see, houses being destroyed. It was just crazy. But again, people in the Philippines, very relational, very, we never lose of prioritizing relationship over the work or job. Yet thinking about job, we only have $3 a day, working all day, entire day. Your salary, it's only $3. And that's a reality. But we are very relational people. We prioritize family over the job, the work. And even though we have disaster every month, mild events, poverty, um, w- we always have that, joy, okay, or happiness. Happiness is not like things that you can buy, things that make you happy. That is the emptiness of heart. Here in the US, people are just happy because they buy a new car or a new truck. And again, it's just like a trendy. It's a trend, always like looking for something to buy or to get something to make your heart feel. But what really is actually being the culture difference here is that we don't have something. Here in the US we have something, but then we are looking for more. And that's just the nature of human being. And as you can see here in the Philippines, you can never see it. Um, the if you see it in the Google Map or Google Earth, tiny island. But again, the Lord is creating something out of that nations, something great that is going. Of course, people is the one that he has to choose. And I do believe that the heart of the people in my country, my folks, the Lord is going to open up something. And for Kingdom Legacy Ministries, we also provide um, food, education for the kids, because that is the closest to my heart. Growing up in the Philippines is very hard. Working while going to school, it's also a very hard, but it also give us opportunity that living there, okay, living here in this island can also provide you with a sense of responsibility. And I remember losing hope when I was in high school. Of course, I didn't know God at time. I hear about people talking about it, but never in my life that I have to see it and experience Him in a personal level. Okay, and that God is the only one that fills my heart. Okay, as I mentioned earlier today, that with $3 with the job situation can even buy 3 cup of coffee in Starbucks. It's just frustrating. And your house flying a typhoon, your stuff is just limited, and it affects your thinking in the future. Like, holy cow, what should I do 3 years from now? 4 years from now, I'm still in poverty. And to switch that, the irony is we're not thinking about, I'm gonna be doing well. We are actually thinking just the relationship. Okay, we have good friends, we have friends that can hang out, friends that can be trusted. And in hearing from my friends that know Jesus, I really feel that, Jesus is the one who used or who showed the love, his love to his people. I remember accepting gifts from a Christians, and it was real. It was real. And so the people here live in this country. Um, of course, the Lord know them by name. Even the hair is counted. So if you're listening this podcast today, don't be surprised or don't be um, terrified by the future. Don't be terrified by any trials and circumstances that comes to your way, because He is molding you. The Lord is molding you to something. Again, you probably see my video um, earlier. That is my experience. I was sharing about my experience that even though I didn't know God because I grew up with not Christian at all, I felt like even I don't know Him, He is still protecting me. Like, I just feel the sense of hope, but I don't know Him. It was just like an energy. But that's the beauty about it. Open up your heart, and then the Lord would point you to the right direction. That's what He is doing to my life. He's also doing to you. And He's not done working. Okay, folks, He's not done working. He is just starting to work in your life. Okay, so trials um that you're in right now, it's like there's no tomorrow because of this pressure. But don't be dismayed, for the Lord your God knows you very well.